walls. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
And welcome everybody to our Daily Gun Show. Come to you live every weeknight at midnight Eastern. That's 9 p.m. Pacific. We chat about guns for about an hour. So we've got some people joining us. We got Angelina joining from California. Thanks for joining.
Hello, everyone.
Dead Horse, you in here?
Yes.
Right on. So everything going okay up there in Utah?
Yeah, everything's going good. You know, cut my trip short out after about driving halfway there, but you know, we're holding it down.
Right on. We can talk more about that. Got Gary joining from Kansas. Thanks for jumping in.
Thanks for the invite.
Oh, we got John jumping in from York.
Howdy, y'all.
Y'all say it, York.
York.
Got a pretty
Thanks for the invite.
New York accent. And then, all right, I got what is it? Gun Snob? Where are you coming from?
Oklahoma.
Oh, right on. We're in Oklahoma.
North of Tulsa, about an hour.
Oh, yeah. So, you know where Win and Note? Something like that is?
Don't know what?
Win and Note or something like that? I don't know how to say it.
Not what you said.
You know where I'm talking about?
No.
All right. Then we got, well, thanks for jumping in. We got Zorro jumping in from California as well.
Hello, thank you for the invite.
All right, I'm down here in Tucson. So I guess we have a couple of people. Well, no, we have just John jumping in from that side of the Mississippi. So you're going to have to represent everybody on that side of the Mississippi tonight. It's Friday. So I put a bunch of clickbait up there because CCW under $200. It's ridiculous. Should you even train? It's not even training day. That was yesterday. And I guess we could do top 10 summer EDC items. But I just figured I'd put a clickbait thing up there and see if we got a bunch of views. See what we got tonight. 19 people joining. So yeah, it's working. Suckers. So anything going on in any of the warm-up shows?
Nothing that I saw. I didn't see any warm-up shows, so.
All right. Well,
Clover and Ghost on Clover's channel, they had maker of bipod, which seemed pretty cool.
Swagger bipods.
Swagger bipods. And I believe they met him or they highlighted the bipods at, what is it, SHOT Show? Is that correct?
I don't know where they met at, but I was watching it when I was working on some arts over here, so I was listening to it.
Yeah, so they were discussing that, and the Black Cat had a video. He went fishing today. So that was pretty cool. Just, you know, just watching the view of the water. And Jimmy the other day did his little, you know, 5-6 minute thing saying he's coming back and he's just working out the kinks right now.
Guns and Gear had a chat today earlier.
Yeah. He discussed his 100 sub giveaway. Yeah, he's giving away some T-shirts. It was supposed to be some pretty cool designs. Which Guns and Gear are you talking about?
Budget Guns and Gear, the guy who has a show on a couple hours.
Budget Guns and Gear, yeah. I didn't get a chance to catch that. I believe I was thinking about Guns and Glory.
Oh, well, I don't know who that is. All right, well, so I guess that's some of the shows that were on earlier today, and you can check those out on their respective channels over on Gun Channels. Dead Horse, so has real life stuff going on. So it sucks. You had planned on heading out on a road trip down to Tejas, and then you got screwed. I don't know how much you want to mention about that, or if it's something you want to talk about, but I think potentially we could blow off all these clickbait topics and talk about real life bug out bags, travel situations, best laid plans. I don't know how much you want to get into.
Yeah, well, definitely, like prepping, right? And it could, for my situation, is can really come in handy with our power going on and off. I have the generator hooked up, so if my power goes out, I can, still, you know, provide light and stuff like that, and cook and
So do you
know.
mind if we talk about the situation? What you got going on?
Sure. I left to go down to a trip to San Angelo, Texas, to go on a hog hunt, and it was a 17 and a half hour, 18-hour drive, and I got about 8.5 hours into it, so almost halfway there, and I got a phone call saying my city's on fire and that my house was threatened, and I had to turn around and come back. And I got back early this morning at about 6:30 this morning, and yeah, it's not just one fire; it's more like 4 fires going right now, and one fire is literally just right above me, just less than 2 miles away, and it's over 200 acres. And that's the one that they're combating really, really hard, because that's the one that's threatening the city the most. And so they brought in air tankers and helicopters and all sorts of stuff today. It started threatening the military base here, so they brought out the military fire trucks and stuff like that. Ground crews from just all over the state, and I guess Wyoming and Idaho are coming to help, because that's how like bad I guess my city's in danger. It's been starting fires all over the city, like random grass fires and tool sheds and stuff like that burning down in people's backyards. And a couple people's houses have caught on fire, but it looks like from what I've seen, they were able to save most of the homes. But it's just raining down ash and just flaming tinders, like that are still burning. So right now, like I'm going outside every hour and hosing down my house off, and hosing my
So
roof.
based on your previous post in Knives chat, I'm guessing the wind picked up, or is it just literally just the embers?
The wind's
coming
actually
down?
starting to pick up right now,
Oh
and they
man,
expect it to get worse, up to 30-mile-an-hour winds, and that's what they're concerned about. And with the direction of the wind, it's blowing right towards the city,
Jesus Christ!
and the fires are hopping all over. And on the other side of me, I have a 2,000-acre fire, but that one's about like probably 15, 20 miles away. So that one's not really the dire concern right now, but that one's a lot bigger. And then we have just down the road, about 5 miles away, there's like a 20 or 30-acre fire going on. And then with all the little fires popping up around the city because of all these other fires, like when I came back into town, I literally thought like a volcano was going off. Like that's what it looked like. This smoke plume and all that. It looked just like a volcano was going off, like something out of a movie. I was like, holy crap.
I'm sorry I'm sorry it even picked up worse than it did from your previous notice. I just wish everybody be safe and be careful, and keep an eye out on each other.
Right. So like, we have all kinds of stuff we can talk about with that. So you were on the trip, and now you had to. I'm guessing you got what, about 3/4, most of the way there, and had to basically turn around.
About halfway. Yeah, it's supposed to be like a 17 to 18-hour drive, and I was about 8.5 hours into it.
That's one of those things that you don't think about. I mean, you can break down or whatever. You break down, worst thing that happens. I guess what I'm saying is if you're budgeting, or you're giving yourself just a whole day's worth of travel, and you're going to be on the driving for whatever you were planning on, 16 hours or something crazy, right? So if you get to the end of that and something happens like this where you got to turn around and come back, I mean, that's tough to calculate. It's not like you're going to be wanting to take a nap. You're not going to be able to take a nap if something happened and you had to turn around. So I just thought that was an interesting thing to, I don't know, to think about, because every once in a while I'll do the same. I'll figure, I need to get somewhere. I'm just going to drive for 16 hours that day. And then, what happens when you're 9 hours into that 16? You got to turn around and come back.
Oh yeah, I was tired as hell last night, and I was kind of thinking about letting my kids drive, because 2 of my kids have driver's licenses now. But then I was like, well, I kind of want to speed too, right? So I was probably averaging a good 5 to 10 miles an hour over the speed limit, trying to get home. I think probably like most other people would. And there wasn't a lot of traffic out at night, but I kind of just wanted to hurry and get home. So yeah, so I decided to drive, and so I could make good time. And I literally didn't know what I was going to come back to. And then, like I said, at one point today, the fire was less than 2 miles from my house, 200-acre fire. So
That's got to be a miserable feeling, being that far from home and just being helpless about it.
oh yeah, it totally was. And you don't know exactly if like the person, I was talking to my father, and I couldn't quite tell like, hey, like how bad it really was. Like, like, is my shit on fire right now? Are you saying? But he was just like telling me, hey, there's a possibility, that we could lose the house. Like, so, so to get that kind of news when you're almost, on your vacation, it just really kind of sucked.
Yeah, kind of run a vacation.
So as far as the vehicle, then, any issues? Anything to talk about? I guess like say the unexpected long trip, or
I rented a vehicle,
Oh.
so I didn't put the wear and tear. So I have the vehicle until Tuesday, so until Tuesday at 5 p.m. So I think I can return it early. I'm probably going to go do that tomorrow. I've been too busy today, just watching fire and hosing down my house and my yard and fence and stuff like that. All my flammable stuff, right? And
So I got a question for you. Based on your immediate resources, how is the water issue? Is that going to not be
I don't think so.
affected?
I live right next to a lake. I literally live, less than 5 minutes from a lake.
Okay, so you don't have too much of the
Yeah.
damage in between you and the lake. Okay. All right.
Yeah, and they've been dropping water from the
Okay.
lake. The helicopters have been scooping water out, and they fought it really, really hard today. But I think the last I heard it is that it's 5% contained. So
That kind of sucks.
yeah, so it's just because of the winds, and not only that, but all the terrain that it's on, that we live on, is basically the side of a rocky mountain, right? And it's just not the easiest area to get to and work and to dig like those fire breaks and stuff like that. It's really hard to do that on the side of a rocky mountain. So it's pretty bad. But tomorrow morning, a whole bunch more crews are supposed to be here from all sorts of other states are coming to help. So hopefully tomorrow they'll be able to get a good grasp on it. Today it looked like it was just mostly tankers and helicopters dropping that fire retardant and water.
I'm hoping they can get like a decent burn line once they have more people.
So I'm guessing it's really heavily wooded around your house then.
Yeah. On the side of the mountain, it's just all, canyons and forest and stuff like that. It's just, and lots of grass and just, stuff like that. Just lots of stuff to burn, right? And plus it's dry here. It's basically the desert, even though we're on the side of a mountain. It's pretty dry here. And so everything's just burning really, really good right now. So we're like praying for rain. There's supposed to maybe be rain showers tonight here and there, but it's the 30-mile-an-hour winds that come with that they're really worried about right now. So they made us evacuate for a couple hours earlier today because the wind was so bad and the fire was like coming right towards us. So they went down the streets and yelling at everyone to evacuate today. And then about 4 hours after that, they let us back into our homes because the wind had shifted again and was going away from us. But now it's coming right back towards us again. So we don't know what to think.
Did they give you an idea of how far they're going to have to do the burn line when more people come in tomorrow?
No idea. There's so much just information, and I don't know what, and the news isn't telling us very much at all, other than that there's more guys are coming tomorrow, that it's 5% contained.
It's tough to know all that until I get reports. And so is this something that happens yearly or seasonally, or?
No. We're usually pretty good. We don't have these kind of fires normally where we're at. Usually we're too sparse and just too deserty and all that, and the canyons are too green and too wet usually to get this kind of fire. But it's just been abnormally like really, really dry, and plus a lot of people think that that the 4 big fires around me may have been man started. That's what we heard. We actually heard that from a police officer when we asked them, because they had the whole road blocked off. We went up and talked to them and asked them what they knew and stuff. And one of the police officers said that the guy on a 4-wheeler was up in the canyon and he heard a big boom and saw a huge explosion and fireball and smoke go up in the air. And so he witnessed the main one that's threatening my house. And just that whole scenario of a big boom and fireball and smoke cloud going in the air up in the middle of a canyon is kind of fishy, you know? So, but there are some things that some people think that some of these fires are, you know, all started on purpose right now.
Well, is it true? I've done some research. Isn't it true that there were no fires before the AR-15?
I think that was before Browning and the 50 BMG.
I believe from my research that AR stands for arson rain.
Yeah.
So
or
if it doesn't happen all the time, is this something as far as the bugging out and as far as when you leave home for a vacation, you're probably packed for the vacation and maybe for some trouble along the way, but I don't know you might be, but were you prepared for being able to come home in a situation like this and then potentially not be able to get back to your house and then need to, it sounds like what you do is having a station at hotels and stuff. So like I say, you have stuff for your vacation, but then do you also have stuff for that type of eventuality? And then we can open that up to the room as well.
Well, we pretty much had everything to last us for about 4 days, you know, clothes, supplies, stuff like that. It lasts about 4 days, but you know, food and stuff for our trip, like, you know, we didn't bring a bunch of food or anything, just water, you know, because we were planning on just eating along the way and stuff like that. So if I would have came back and not been able to get back to my house, yeah, like it would have just been, you know, hotels. I didn't have camping gear with us because we were planning on staying in this lodge, and so I didn't have any tents or, you know, sleeping bags or any of that kind of stuff with us. The only thing that we really had were, you know, guns and ammo and just our bags full of clothes and, you know, toothbrushes and stuff like that. But no, I wasn't prepared. If I wouldn't have been able to get back to my house, we wouldn't have had sleeping bags or tents or, you know, anything else. And a hotel isn't a guaranteed thing here because we only have so many hotels. So if they, you know, evacuations, I'm sure there's already some people that are, you know, the hotels are probably already pretty filled.
Hey, Dead Horse, can I ask you a question?
Yep.
How close was the fire to your house? I mean, was it in the mountains?
Less than 2 miles. Less than 2 miles is what it's got to so far.
Oh, dang.
But it's a big fire, less than 2 miles. So 2 miles might sound far away, but really, it's not. It's like not when you see this huge fire that's just massive, right? And then it's like 2 miles away. Like it might as well be right next door. You're thinking.
can you see like flames outside?
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I got pictures of the flames and stuff, and it's, you know, and like I said, there's more than one fire. So, you know, there's another one about 15 to 20 miles to the east of me right now, and that's the big one. That's the one that's like 2,000 acres. Like they're not even really fighting that one. It's so big. So
Yeah, dude, last week was there were fires, pretty bad fires here, and while I stand in the kitchen like doing dishes, out the window you just see flames. So it's scary.
it's funny because when I look through my I took one of my high powered scopes out back, right, and I was watching the fire through it, and when you'll see this perfect tree, right, it's not burned or nothing, all green and everything, and then you see the fire come up to it. By the time that tree lights on fire, it is, I mean, just dust within less than a minute. That whole tree catches on fire and it's gone completely gone in less than a minute. That's how hot that fire is. It's amazing how fast a whole entire tree can just turn into nothing.
Yeah,
Wow.
if your fire department or the local departments fighting it have a Twitter, totally check that out because they post a lot of.
Oh, that's a good idea.
That's a big, I mean, because California, as you know, is like the fire state. So that's one of the things they do here is there's always, you know, they're updating their Twitter and their Facebook and stuff. But just like, I mean, even like basic information.
Yeah, which fire was it like so close to like close to like a city where they were giving notices that it was like they were saying, oh, it's 10 miles away now, or it went from 30 miles away to 20 miles away, and it's like it's almost contained.
In November, right?
Yeah, it was like that big fire that was coming out of Maricopa or something.
Yeah, well, there was, I think there's 2 fires, but like the Thomas fire, because it like ruined Ventura.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. Like that was, when that was happening, then it caught fire down here where I am. So on 3 sides of us, it was burning. So you'd look and just you're surrounded by fire.
So if you get go ahead.
Roosted wants to know if you've already packed your truck for the bug out in case you need it.
Oh, the only thing that's really not packed right now are like guns. Like I don't really have like some of my valuables like that, but stuff to survive. Yeah, that's one of the things we did today is put all the sleeping bags, coolers, stuff like that in our vehicles. And you know, we went and gassed our vehicles, and so they're full of gas. And you know, so if we have to leave, that we can take all of our vehicles and a bunch of stuff. I really didn't grab like a bunch of valuables, but just the necessities. Oh yeah, they're already packed.
So do you have somewhere you can go if you do get evacuated again?
You know, locally, no. Because everyone locally that I know lives so close to me that they would be evacuated too. So I'd have to drive for quite a ways, or just like I said, go to a hotel or a camping spot, you know. And you know, but it's so bad out there too right now. I don't even know if I'd want to try and camp outside somewhere just because of the ash in the air. That's one thing I wasn't prepared for. Is like I might throw some like some kind of filter mask, you know, some kind of filtration into my kit now, because the ash has been so bad, and that breathing that shit has been so bad that it's just, yeah, I really wish I had some kind of mask or that I could just put on.
What is the fire department recommending, or have they said anything about what to use for respiration?
Not that I haven't heard anything. Like I haven't talked to the fire department though, or seen anything from them.
The military gas mask is going to have a filter designed for biological and chemical stuff, and I suspect it's probably not the right one for like you'd probably want what a firefighter would have, you know, the firefighter type. And they usually have more of a open, you know, not 2 eyes or whatever. It's more of an open mask or whatever.
No, firefighter has a full face mask, but it's in a closed oxygen system.
Sometimes they're closed, but that's expensive. But you can get. I have a fire one that's just a giant filter underneath like a gas mask, but not whatever scuba, you know, above ground scuba. That would be.
Yeah, I have filter masks with the twin filters on the bottom from when I used to work rehabbing houses with asbestos and stuff like that.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Those things for like painting and that kind of thing, like you're saying, doing insulation or whatever. I mean, that would be better than nothing for the ash, but I don't know.
Yeah, they're okay, but they don't help you with the heat.
Well, how bad is the heat there?
My heat today got up to 97 or 96. Right now, I think it's probably about 82 at 10:30 at night.
You're not dealing heat from fire or anything, though.
What's that?
No heat from the fire, like hot.
Oh no, because it's 2 miles. You know, it's 2 miles away. So it's,
yeah, I think the most important thing is to filter the particulates that are floating around in the air, like he was talking about the ash and stuff.
So
well, it was so bad. I had it in my nose. I was outside, and I was outside for maybe like 45 minutes, and I just watered down my fence and my roof and my house and stuff, right? And when I came back in, my wife was laughing at me, and I went to the bathroom, and it looked like I was snorting coke or something, because I had on my mustache and around my nose from like breathing in the ash. And it was, yeah, it was pretty bad. I was like, and that's when I thought, holy shit, like what if I had to stay out here for days outside in something like this? How bad would that be without a mask?
super bad, dude. Number one, even if it was just the forest burning, raw, like virgin forest, that wouldn't be good for you to inhale that ash. But it ain't. It's also all kinds of horrible shit that, man-made shit that's out there burning as well. So definitely gotta have something around, right? At least a handkerchief or something. But don't go out
Well,
there
the next time that's what I've been using ever since. That I've actually just been using a rag, and then just wetting it down and kind of holding the rag up to my mouth, and then going out with the other hand and spraying with the hose.
That's what they tell us to do here, when because it burns around here like probably every other year pretty bad. Then that's what they tell us to do here. So you're doing it right.
Yeah, there's another fire over here that's happening, right?
Another thing, wet silk is a good filter.
Reading's on fire pretty bad.
Yeah. Yeah, they told us to have a scarf that was soaked in water or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why would some of the little dust masks not work from your hardware store?
Well, not a dust mask, but the I'm thinking the plastic formed one like you'd get for painting a car or something. One step, maybe they're like $30 or something.
Yeah, they're a lot easier. They're a lot easier to breathe through too.
You're talking about
Right, they don't help your eyes at all.
Yeah.
That ash is so fine. I'm not sure regular dust mask would work because that ash is really, really fine. I mean, it's. I don't know if it would work or not. I'm asking. Do you guys know?
Well, that's a good question. So I don't know if somebody could probably Google it right now. But aside from that, I think that's a good point, though, that you're not thinking about. People think, oh, gas mask, that's hilarious. Like, what are you going to get gassed or whatever, and having them for the whole family or whatever can seem ridiculous. But if you had to drive through an area, I've had to drive through fires before, and I would love to have a gas mask behind the seat or something I could have thrown on. But I don't know if, like I said, I don't remember anything in military training. Not that they tell you. Well, you spend a couple of days in there. I don't remember saying anything about putting it on for a fire, though. I suspect it has nothing to do with fire, because, like I say, it's chemicals.
When I drove up closer to the fire, to the where they had the road blocked off, and talked to the police officers, just from standing out there for probably 20 minutes, my eyes started to water, and stuff too. Being, at that point, yeah.
Just to keep your face and eyes out of it would be better than a painter's mask. That's your eyes are. What are you going to do? Put goggles on? Goggles are usually just to keep dust out. They're not going to, keep your eyes from a toxic environment. I don't know. Walking around with gas mask is not fun either. Really super hot, and it's hard to breathe through it.
So is the ash getting all in your house too and stuff from it?
I've been trying to keep the house really, really closed up, and luckily I don't have a swamp cooler or anything that's pulling in outside air. So we've just been letting the dogs out as minimal as possible and just keeping everything sealed up. But there seems to be just dust over everything, over all the cars, just over everything, just of ash. There's just literally a fine layer over everything. And when the wind blows, it looks like a mini dust storm or something for a second, with all the ash getting kicked up.
I can only imagine. I grew up with a fireplace, and it gets all over everything.
I usually one to say I told you so, but are you regretting your decision to make your roof out of paper mache and wicker?
Your car filter and all the other shit will be all nasty too.
Oh yeah, I bet. And I have asphalt shingles on my roof, so what I have to worry about is I have to worry about a hot ember, getting on that vinyl siding, then melting a little hole through, and then it falls in between the vinyl siding and the wood.
Got a way to throw a little soap in the water?
Yeah, I do. I got my little, the thing that I use for my weeds and stuff that you mix with the garden hose for the weed and feed.
A little dab will make it a little bit wetter, kill surface tension, make it a little bit. Potentially keeps things a little bit wetter longer.
Yeah, it's called a surfactant.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Just a little bit, a tablespoon to a gallon. You just a little tiny bit.
But that's interesting. That's something a lot of people don't think about in their bug out bags is eye and mouth protection in case you're going through a smoky area or that kind of thing. It's something I never really thought about.
And think
Well, I
about
know I didn't have it in my bug out bag, and I had that with me. Basically, all the same stuff I take the bug out with, I had that with me in my main bag, and I didn't have anything to, cover our faces with or anything for the whole family, like nothing. So if we would have been trapped there or something, or had to go through that, yeah, that would have been pretty bad.
Israeli gas masks used to be economical, and they're physically not very big. They're designed almost for civilian type of thing. So, but definitely a painter's filter or something. It wouldn't take up much space. It would only cost $20 or something. Well, I guess I don't know if you already have goggles in your. You pretty much have like enough stuff for everybody for just, day-to-day type of issues, right? So I don't know if you have goggles and gloves and that kind of thing.
No goggles. I wear glasses, so I don't. But yeah, goggles would be another good idea. Throw some goggles in there, and gloves. I have a pair of like mechanics gloves, but I don't know if how good those are compared to something that's more waterproof or something like that.
I think mechanics gloves are a good option if you can afford them. They're like $20 or whatever, because they wad up pretty good, pretty small. But I think you could also potentially, if you were prepared for a little bit of smoke and whatnot, you could potentially get through somewhere that's, a bunch of traffic stops because people aren't sure. You can kind of see that you can blow through a valley and come up the other side. Then, potentially you could get through somewhere that everybody else is not able or willing to.
Now, one thing, when I was coming in this morning, it was still pretty dark, and the like you could see the smoke through the headlights, right? Now, I'll tell you one thing, like having that smoke can act just like the snow sometimes and like blind you, so you can't really see the road in front of you because all your light from your headlights bounces off the smoke and back at you. And so you have to turn off your headlights and just use your parking lights, and that's like you can see the road better all of a sudden doing that. You guys ever experienced that? I was thinking, man, I wish this thing had like fog lights on or something. I bet those would probably work better through the smoke.
So we got some comments coming on the gun channel on the YouTube side. Rob said get N95s. It's not ideal, but it's cheap. Is that the things for painters?
No, those are the painter ones are the 3M pink ones. It's two-sided. The N95 is it's like just a regular mask with a little filter on it. It's not the same at all.
Oh, so more like a more substantial kind of disposable mouth filter type of thing that you just put over your mouth.
Right. The 3M one for the painters, that's way more substantial now because it has two-sided filters for it.
And it's like got the rubber thing that goes around your nose and stuff for like the kind of
exactly.
beer still cover it, but Patriot.
Right, it's like a perfect seal.
When you got a beard, you're pretty much out of luck. So start shaving. But
pretty much.
So I'd like Rob brought it up again, and did Angelina bring it up? That what about having extra air filters? I don't think about it. I probably, I'm just super cheap, so I just run an air filter for a long time. But it makes kind of good sense to have an extra air filter in your vehicle in case you are driving through some kind of crap like that, so that you're not stuck between auto zones or whatever.
Yeah, I'm so cheap. I usually pull my air filters out and then blow them off with the air hose from the air compressor, and then like shake them out, and then stick them back in and get some more use out of them. That's how cheap I am. So I never have that kind of extra air filters laying around.
It might be worth just pulling the old filter, put it in the box that the new one came in, throw that in the trunk, and then you've always got it's not clean, but it's better than having. I mean, what does an air filter cost? $7? I guess you just have an extra clean one.
Well, I mean, if you want to spend a little more money and have something that's reusable, they do. K&N makes a reusable filter. It's like $40-50, but it's washable and it's reusable. and there's no life span on it.
For the car?
Yeah. There's
Okay.
one for the engine filter and one for the inside the cabin filter in the car too.
We just like take a bucket or something, wash it out, and
Yeah, just a little hose even. Yeah.
Damn, I've been paying like $40 and I get my oil changed.
$40.
Yeah.
For an oil change?
That hurts me. It hurts.
For an oil change and then to change whatever filter they need to do this time.
I pay more than that.
You're
Wow.
hurting. I'm too
About
cheap.
45 here.
We need to do a class so you guys can learn.
Okay.
Oil change costs you like $7.
I'm not doing an oil change though. That seems like too much.
I used to change my own oil, but I'm just too lazy now.
Well,
We're having a thunderstorm right now, so the little puppy doesn't like thunder. She's over here upset.
I basically get a car that leaks or burns oil enough that I just put in. Like my current van is, a quart oil every 1,000 miles, so I figure I never have to change the oil because it's pretty much fresh all the time. I might want to do the filter once in a while, but the oil itself, yeah, not a problem. And I hate to say it, I'm a real evil guy when it comes to that kind of stuff because I am not a big believer in oh yeah, change your oil every X thousand miles. It's a bullshit.
I don't know what you're supposed to do, but my old car had a light that would come on, which meant take me to get an oil change. So I'm praying that my new car has that, because otherwise that's never going to happen. I'll never remember to do that.
I just looked at my oil and my oil.
That was a little different. That's your pressure sensor, and that when that comes on, you got about 2 minutes, and then your engine seizes up. So that's really not such a good thing. It's okay if you go around a sharp curve and it flashes, and that reminds you to go in and change the oil. I've done that before. That works pretty good.
I mean, it says maintenance required, and it's not a check engine. Yeah. It's a go do this thing light.
Oh yeah, that's all based on the
mine
odometer
says time
reading.
for an oil change.
Yeah, no, that's based on the odometer reading.
Yeah, mine has a percentage of oil life left.
I hope my
dad's truck has a percentage.
I don't know what my new car has, but it better have fucking something if it wants some kind of.
Can't be expected to read the odometer or nothing.
Since it's turning into fun chat, I'm going to take it to the movie of the day. So one of the things we do on the Daily Gun Show is talk about a gun movie. And I watched that Upgrade movie today, and it's kind of got guns in it, but it does have cars in it. So we were talking about cars, so we can talk about this movie. Has anybody else seen it yet? The new movie called Upgrade?
Nope.
Nope.
No, I saw the preview.
I've never heard of it.
It's fairly new. I think it's still out in the theaters right now. I'm waiting to see it with the lag if anybody out there has seen it. So doesn't sound like anybody's seen it. I won't try to spoil it. Basically, though, it's a guy gets paralyzed in a violent situation. Girlfriend gets killed, and he's like, next in line for this chip that goes in his spine. It's kind of cheesy, and then it gives him, I don't know, kind of like robot abilities. The chip makes him super efficient, and like a ninja, he can do battle and stuff. And
what movie is this?
it's called Upgrade.
Upgrade?
Yeah, and it's set in the future. Pretty, like I'm not sure exactly. I didn't really pay attention to know exactly when it's supposed to be in the future. But you guys were talking about cars that start telling you when to be upgrade or when to be maintained or whatever. In this one, it's almost like it was. Forget what movie. There's another science fiction movie where they have cabs that are automated, and a human being just gets in the back, and the robot cab takes you where you want to go. Is that
so? According to Angelina, all the guy has to do is wait for the check engine light to go off.
Yep.
Well, in the movie though, they have these. Basically, you just get in cars and you tell the car where you want to go, and then basically just entertain yourself in there.
Yeah, they did that in Total Recall.
Was it Total Recall where the cab has the little fake cab head?
Johnny Cab, right?
Right.
Johnny Cab.
Yeah, that Johnny Cab was in Total Recall.
So this is kind of the same, except this is just your car. And what's neat is the guy who's the main character is a mechanic, and he's a mechanic who like still works on old-fashioned cars, like cars we would have now with motors and stuff. And you actually drive. So at one point they're driving a car somewhere, and the robot car just follows them as if it was a trailer or whatever. I just thought that was kind of neat because they were dropping the car off, and that way they had this robot car to get back where they were coming from. Anyway, so it's a gun movie kind of, and it's I'm going to give it 1 thumb up, or maybe even 2. I mean, some people might give it 2. It's not a bad movie, actually. It's kind of a neat movie.
I've not seen it.
Yeah, it seems kind of like a bad one to do today since nobody on the whole panel. We have almost a full panel. Nobody's even seen it. So I don't see anybody on the YouTube side saying anything about it. Philo saying it looked funny as hell. It is kind of exaggerated, kind of like a humor. And what's kind of weird in it is the new Superman is one of the characters in it. And that's weird because, you know, it's like watching Superman in a movie.
I'm just ready for that point in the future where I can just get in my car and tell it where to take me, and I don't have to drive.
So we've had that. We had that, what, in Detroit? Someplace out there.
Yeah, as long as you're willing to run over a pedestrian every now and then, no problem.
Yeah, wasn't that?
That.
Well, that was in Phoenix where the people got killed, but that wasn't. That was with a robot car with a human being watching the murder, like just watching the person get killed. Because
well, and to be honest, the person that they ran into was jaywalking with a bike. So she just came out of like frickin' nowhere, and the car probably didn't even have time to react.
Well, that's sort of the point, is that these things have to be, or should be, faster than us, right?
Well, yeah, but you know, I don't expect the car to do a better job than a human being does. I mean, it'd be nice if it could, but you know, to say, oh, the car, that's it, the car is evil, we got to take these off the street. It's like, well, wait a minute, even a regular person could never have avoided that accident. So, you know, I kind of try to give technology the benefit of the doubt. As a motorcycle rider, I have issues because most of these systems do not do a good job detecting motorcycles, and they need to do a better job, you know, doing that. But I agree. I think it'd be really great if you could just get in your car and say, "Take me to work," and then you open your book or your business stuff or your laptop, and you just don't have to worry about it after that. It's kind of like taking a train or the bus, right?
In this version, you sit in your car, and some of the seats are looking like normal, like your back seats are normal, but your front seats are just mirror versions of your back seats, so you're just sitting backwards, like in a bus or something, or like in a train, I guess. And then when you sit in there, the windows go from clear to monitors. Like they opaque out and they turn into monitors, so people watch TV and play around on the computer and whatever, go around to the net. And you know, so they're envisioning like you're actually just as productive in your car, entertaining yourself or doing whatever, having conversations and doing things. It's just you're physically being transported. And
I just feel like the back seats are giving me a dirty look.
I don't know if I want to sit backwards and not know right before it drives me in a river.
That's true too. Unless it's hot outside, and then you need to cool down anyway.
Well, that's a Chappaquiddick 7. They haven't released that car yet.
The robot car that killed somebody was in Arizona, but I know that there's a fleet of robot cars that do not even have people in them, except for the people they drive around. Like there's not human being observers in them anymore, and those haven't run anybody over. And I think that's like Pennsylvania or Detroit or somewhere up there. But I think that's like Uber, right? Uber robot. I don't know where Dano is when we need him.
He's probably running down some people.
Well, Uber drivers, they jump out in front of robot Ubers because they figure, you know, best case scenario, they get the robots off the street, and then worst case is they get hit, and then they can sue Uber and make some money.
And they get a free upgrade.
Oh yeah, I didn't thought about that one.
You know, I'm a kind of in the farming industry, and they, you know, tractors now have got that where it'll plow your whole field, and you're basically just sitting in there playing on your phone, doing whatever, and it just runs itself and plows the whole field by GPS.
And it like helps you figure out like everything from seeding to fertilizing to everything, like how to lay it out so that you're not backing up and having anything weird. Like it's all laid out ahead of time. Right.
Right,
yeah.
but it doesn't have to interact with anything else. It's on a piece of farmland with no other equipment running around out there.
True.
So it's
Well,
a
yeah.
little bit easier application.
You sit in it in case some you decide to have a picnic in the middle of your stuff. And
Well, if something breaks, you know.
The bale machine is the best because you're just watching it poop out bales of hay.
The problem with it, though, is you have to go behind it and pick up the hay.
Well, yeah, but that's after it finishes doing what, like
No,
30,
they got a
40,
machine
50
for
of
that. They just you just get the other machine for that, you know, the bale machine.
Well, my family's always been too poor to have the other machine. They always had me when I was young.
That is tough work, man. If it's regular hay bales, that is a bitch swinging those things up.
Yeah.
I know the feeling of like lifting hay bales. They suck to lift hay bales.
Yeah, that's why I was in information systems technology, because lifting bits is very easy.
Well, nowadays the hay bales are those big round ones. You hardly ever see the small ones anymore.
Yeah, I'm glad we don't bale square hay anymore. I'm glad we went to round.
all right. Well, now we got into hay somehow. So we'll
You're welcome.
any kind of industry stuff we want to talk about today. It's usually industry and tech on Fridays.
Well, why don't we do another TriggerCon update?
Do what?
A TriggerCon update.
From like Instagram or something?
Yeah, I did it yesterday, where you just look at the hashtag for TriggerCon and see what went on there today.
Yeah, was today actually the first day?
It was Industry Day.
Well, I know one thing that happened. Did anybody pay attention to TriggerCon today?
No, I haven't been on the computer until I turned this on for tonight.
Well, last year they told everybody, oh, we're sorry that we had it in a venue that was not allowed in CCW, so we'll make sure to rectify that. And this year, metal detectors, no guns allowed.
Oh, that blows.
Are they frisking little kids like they did last year? Like, no joke. They were frisking and like wanting like little 5-year-old kids and shit. So like, are they doing that again?
Oh, so TSA was taking care of it.
No, they basically had like they went to the fucking airport, hired TSA guys, and had them like, you know, ball checking 5-year-olds. So
Yeah,
like,
pretty
they were
much.
doing that.
Michael Jackson security guards. See that, you know, that's why I don't TriggerCon, SHOT Show. It's all new stuff. Yeah, I don't like new stuff. I like old stuff. So that's a good reason not to go to those things. But that is an irritant. That is a true irritant. That you're going to a gun show, and to be honest with you, most of the gun shows in my area, you can bring a gun with you, but you have to at the door you have to check it. And they take your magazines and they put a zip tie on it or whatever. So you walk around carrying a neutered gun with you that's like useless.
All right, so we got the Instagrams up.
You see the Killer Innovations comp for Glocks?
Is that what that thing is on the bottom left?
I don't know. I'm on the other thing on my phone, so I don't know. It's on the end of a Glock and it's some goofy looking thing, and it's a compensator apparently for the end of a Glock barrel.
I was looking at a G screen. A dude with a bat, some kind of,
It's so small I can't see
I
it.
don't know, tactical ninja star with screw holes. Two dudes. Lock. A dude.
All right, I had to go do.
There we go. Yeah, that Glock has that. It's a barrel with a compensator on the end of it.
Oh, there's a little kid with a gun right there.
This is from 9 minutes ago.
Beef.
That was Adam Kraut in the picture 2 or 3 pictures back.
That's a woman.
No, 2 or 3 pictures back.
No.
That's okay. You can stand under the picture if you like. You know, I don't mind.
I'm looking for. That's interesting to finally see what it looks like from the outside. So we got an idea of what kind of. It's probably a convention center size thing. I was hoping to see some like picture of you know, how big of a situation it is, how big the room is.
Oh, like an overall picture?
Yeah. This looks like yesterday.
Well, I mean, don't we have our affiliate, Q Hottie TV there?
I
Maybe
didn't see any pictures. Is he not using that?
Yeah, because he was at range day yesterday.
I thought he said he was going today, too.
He's in the chat.
Oh, I don't know how he explains that, but here we go. This is some sort of gun. Holds up. This is a gun that is in Dookie. This is a picture. That was from yesterday already. This
I don't
is
see a lot of light.
I see 2 pictures. What?
I'm not
This is-
seeing like show.
We got 2. So he's probably editing and whatnot. Oh, did I not screen lock it? I think I did at the end.
Only 2 pictures for today at TriggerCon?
He said it was damn near TSA, but you had a place to secure your weapon with officers and were allowed to bring in knives. I didn't argue. I didn't agree with it, just saying what went down. And then SCI's new barrel comp that attaches via an extended guide rod, no threaded barrel required. Oh, no worries. Are you going back tomorrow? I guess now you got to drive all the way back up there and get a picture of the building. No big deal. We'll wait. All right, well, so that's TriggerCon, and looks like there's a bunch of guns up there. And it looks like a kind of a mix between a big gun show and SHOT Show. All right, well, now it's getting super dead air, so I guess we'll end it. Right about an hour. Thanks, everybody, for jumping in. Anything else anybody wants to talk about before we head out?
Nope. For me.
Good. So, Dead Horse, good luck with everything. We hope the wind blows the other way and just blows it all out.
Yeah, I hope everything goes well with you, Dead Horse.
Yeah, me too. I hope they send this fire back to California, where it came from.
You don't want it.
We do not want that, no.
We're dry as hell over here.
We'll probably burn up and never exist anymore if that happens over here.
Thanks for the invite. Appreciate it.
You bet. Thanks for jumping in. Otherwise, I'd be sitting here by myself, and we got a bunch to talk about with Dead Horse's situation and adventure. And thanks for everybody who's been participating in the outside chats there.
Yeah, thank you, G Webs, for the link. Really appreciate it, my friend.
Yeah. Not sure how we're going to keep doing the daily gun show, but we got hopefully it looks like we're going to have Jimmy on board full time helping out. So should be able to take couple of things to the next level here. So stay tuned for all the changes that'll be coming up here and on gun channels. I guess with that, it's Free Patch Friday and not one sale today. So if anybody wants to grab anything, probably throw all kinds of free stuff in there with it. And we will. Oh, and I guess I'm doing some sort of a Patreon thing tomorrow. I put out a request to my Patreons, or a poll, I guess, to my Patreon people to see if they are interested in one of those Q&A things like what some of the other people do. And yeah, they wanted me to do it, so I'm going to try that out. I've got some final art stuff to do for the cards, so I probably will do all that starting sometime tomorrow. So if you're interested, check it out either on the Patreon or on gun channels. Travis does his show in the morning, Caliber Corner, and Rick does Rick's Life as I See It. Rick's got an Indiegogo campaign now to try to get some more patches and stickers, some more like swag going for his giveaways and his branding and stuff. So if you're interested in watching somebody like Rick, who brought David into the mix already, he's out there ambassadoring the shit out of gun channels. You want to see his project succeed and give him a little boost, go throw a couple of $5 at him. And that's what it's all about. And we'll see you back here on Monday, potentially, depending how much work I get done this weekend, potentially on a whole new format, but soon there'll be a whole new format to the show, or at least a souped up fancy format. Thanks to everybody who jumped in tonight. Thanks for people who joined us live. We had quite a few people watching in the audience. I've been kind of putting these up on batches on iTunes, so next time I do those, I'll check out what kind of comments and ratings we've been getting, but we appreciate the people that are giving us those ratings over there. Helps us get the word out. Anybody got a quote for the end of the day?
I have a quote for today. This is just by a regular person, but I thought it sounded pretty good. And the quote goes like this: if you teach your kids how to shoot, when to shoot, what to shoot, and where to shoot, freedom will easily be maintained. And that's from Aaron Canales.
It's a pretty good one.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Guys and gals of gunwebsites.com encourage you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thanks for watching gunwebsites.com.